So what is up, guys? It's Poppa-H, and please ignore the mess because this is a messy one. You will start off, guys, with the tutorial with just a basic block. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to explain what's going on here. You're going to need the interior toys door, and if you don't know how to do that, please do go check that out on YouTube. One of the other creators will probably step in and tell you if you check down in the comments below. I've done it in other videos, but yeah, see this lava block here? It's a massive lava block, but made up of all the little ones. So you can use the massive lava block as your template, and then just cover it in these little ones, which are right next to it, which you'll find in the basic blocks section, and just cover the top in the small ones. That gives you loads of options to put exploding blocks in if you want to. I found that 2 was enough. But it also grids it up nicely to show you where all these interior toys go. Now, just as a reminder, the wall sconces are in the electronics and appliances. You don't think of that as electronics and appliances, but it is in there. So I'll try and explain what we've got as we go. So that'll be in decor. In the interior toys, it's just general decor, I think that one. But yeah, you will find all of these in the interior toys. I'll try and explain what they are. So that's Davy Jones's chest. Okay, this might take you a little bit of time to do this, guys, because yeah, that's cool. So that'll be in seating and beds. I think it is seating and beds. But yeah, again, the wall sconce, that's from the electronics and appliances. So just trying to go around the boundary of that lava block and just try and pick out all the stuff. Now I've pre-prepared this, so I've given myself half a chance because there's a lot of stuff there. But you guys would be more than capable of doing that if you know the interior toy box door technique. Okay, you can actually see it in the background down there, but don't worry too much about that for now. We'll try and focus on what's up here at the top. So we've got the Neverland map as well, so that'll be in wall decorations, or wall hangings they call them. Okay, so we want a couple of sofas in there. I mean, it is floor is lava, you've got to have some sofas in there, but you can see pretty much where that's got to be, looking like 5 across and then 1 block in. Yeah, it's a tricky thing to show you guys, this one, because there's quite a lot's gone into it, even though it's only a small toy box. But once you've got it, you will enjoy it. So yeah, do take the time to watch it. I mean, it is a long video, guys, I'll say that. It's going to be a long video, this one, just for the build alone. But if you need to, just pause the video and just pick it up. Just try and make note of where you are in the minutes in the video, and then come back to it when you've got a bit of time, or if you're a little bit bored, maybe you keep going. So yeah, we've got the suit of armour there. This is important where it goes, guys. It's important where it goes because a lot of thought's gone into how we position all of these little things. I mean, you can put your own stuff in. There's nothing stopping you putting your own stuff in and making it your own, and maybe going more futuristic, or you know, that kind of thing, or maybe specific theme to a specific character. The world is your oyster with this one. You don't have to feel like you're restricted to what I've put in. I have spaced it out so it makes it a decent challenge, but at the same time you're not restricted. So if you don't want to copy it absolutely to the letter, then you can. No one's telling you can't. Okay, so we'll take that up there. Yeah, and you will find these in the interior toys. So we've got we've got Davy Jones flag. I mean, I've just put stuff around but the most important thing is I'm doing this first. Okay, I'm doing this before I put the walls up, before I do anything else. I'm just making sure all the interior toys are in and in position, and then I can work around that a bit more. Because right at the start, you notice I had to shift a couple of blocks for that tapestry, and that's probably the only one in this section that I have to worry about that because it's so huge. So I did that first. Okay, so if you're following around in the order, and that's the Mulan statues. Yeah, go on then, up you go. Okay, so that's marking our exit as well, so that's worth remembering as well, guys. Okay. So yeah, let's have a look at the blocks, and that's how far over we are there and back there. Right. Okay. Let's go down and grab something else. Okay, let's focus on just these toys at the minute. Don't be distracted by the stuff that's down there. It's just the way I've had to do the tutorial. But yeah, let's take up some more wall sconces. Now, by now you should know where those ones are if you've gone into your toys. The only thing is, if you keep coming in and out of them, it will be kind of tricky. You have to go back through the door and then come back and do all that kind of stuff. Okay. But it is ultimately worth it. It is fun. It is a lot of fun once you get this going. Okay, so we've got most of the way around that side. Now, let's see. These aren't critical for position. Okay, as long as they're roughly around there. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover that area over in a little while. It'll just be for decoration. These actually were toys that I was going to include, and then I thought, do you know what? These are tricky to jump on, or they're maybe just not what I wanted for looks wise. So, but what I did want to do is, just as a reminder to myself, is just to include them. So Mulan's suit of armour, Rapunzel's mirror, Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt, you got to have him in there. Look at him. Right, and then yeah, Tiki statue as well, so that can go in. It's a shame as while I'm picking them up, it doesn't show you exactly where they are, but you know, that's one of the limitations of the game, I suppose. Once you do that toy box door technique to bring all those interior toys in, that's what that's what you get. So you're probably worthwhile looking at this, maybe playing it back, and then putting these in like a palette somewhere next to where you're building, so you've got all of these. And then you can pull them into position afterwards. I've still got a few more to go. You can see what I'm trying to do is copy that and bring it all up, so you can. So we're absolutely copying it completely for the build. Okay, so let's take that little chair, and we're going to lift that up, just straight up. See, that's why I do it this technique sometimes, to show you guys is. I can literally just copy whatever it is and just bring it up and make another carbon copy of it. And Gaston's chair, that's a nice addition to the Floor is Lava challenge. Really interesting chair, I like it. Okay. See how we got a variation? We've tried to keep it quite varied, so it's quite interesting because it's not all the same. And if I did just basic blocks or something, and like jumping across basic blocks, it's not going to be as interesting as this. And I took inspiration from the TV show to try and make all this happen. Okay, cool. So we're just spacing that one out a little bit more, make it a little bit tricky for the player. Just pull it out like someone's kicked it back as they've come away from the chess table in a strop because they didn't win. Checkmate, checkmate, fool. Right. So, okay, what should we pick up next? Yeah, the grand piano. Right, now this is a key part of the... Yeah, so we're just going to take a look, a bit more detail at this. As you can see, from where I'm positioning that, I'm just trying to rotate just so I can show you. Yeah, let's bring this up. More often than not, you won't go for that option as a route to get across, but he's there. And that's the haunted house little statuette things. A haunted house bust is what it's called, sorry, something like that anyway. But we'll sit that right there. It's just a little bit of eye candy there for you guys when you're playing through the map. So let's go ahead and pick up something else. I'm trying to get hold of this Jabba's round table. Very small table, you can't get your legs underneath it. But then if you're a slug, you haven't got legs. You got a tail. Yeah, okay, so that's online with that suit of armour. It's also online with that sofa right over there. So we'll try and do a bit of that just so I can show you how to line it all up. So let's take this statue and I'm trying to line that up with maybe the one side of the piano there and that chest, the darling chest, I think that those little ones are called. Don't think I mentioned that before. So we'll take up this boat. Now that is in the interior toys, and that's why I wanted to put it where I put it, because it's an unusual interior toy. As far, well, there are quite a lot of unusual ones, but that one for me was particularly special, and I wanted to use it as a way to get across to the finale, to the finish. Okay. And in the Floor is Lava TV show, they do have a canoe sometimes. And I thought, well, I haven't got a canoe, but I've got a boat. So, you know, you've got to improvise sometimes, say. Okay, this is the crazy coffin thing. Going to lift that up. Now, that is good fun because it lifts as you're on it a little bit. Just enough to kind of put the player off. That's why I angled it that way. So the camera sees those little hands pushing it up and down. So... Okay, so on to another darling chest. Now this was added right before, just before we sort of submitted these videos and got them all uploaded to YouTube, because Professor Toybox said, oh, do you know what, I can't quite see how you get to that boat, so I just added another chest in there just so you can actually see it as you go. So you've got Jasmine's sofa thing there. Okay, yeah, nice. So we've got a way that the player can look and have to think, oh right, which way do I go now? And that's why I wanted to put a few things in. Some of them are like a dummy run, if you like, and as you get towards one way, you'll realise it's not the best way to go, and you'll fall in, and then you'll respawn at the checkpoint. So yeah. Okay, so swiftly on to the next section. So now you've got this, and that forms a good basis for everything there. Now we can really make a start on building up and around it and making the room an actual room, if you like. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down here and I'm going to start copying some of these up. So I've got that one there. Now you'll find those in platforming toys, vertical barrier piece. Now we can start to see, every time I select you'll be able to see which piece now. Now we've got past the interior toys thing. Okay, so just put that. It just sort of breaks up the line, so you don't. So the player actually, if they do get to glance at that, they wonder what's behind it. Actually, there's only a few little things there, but I don't know, it just gives that little bit of extra intrigue. You know, that there's an area I can't get to. You know, and it also stops the player if they do somehow find a way to get across, they can't use that area at all for getting across to those things, although you wouldn't really want to. So yeah. So I'm going to take this. Just going to take that up as well. You can see that horizontal sliding ledge hang. Now in the Floor is Lava TV show, they do have like an area there where you can climb across and scale across to like a bookshelf or something like that, or a chest of drawers. So I wanted to include that. It's there. You don't necessarily have to use it, but it's there, and that's kind of what the show's about as well. It's like there's different ways of going across the room, and the person playing it has to actually figure that out. So if you haven't seen the Netflix TV show, then do. I'm just going to theme this block up here. Okay, so King Louis's ruins. You can see that quite often in this map beneath. That's why it's quite good to have that beneath, is that I can just clone it and just clone it up and do it again. So if you were to build another one of these afterwards, you could use that same technique as well. So you could copy everything up and then just put new bits into the room. But I'll leave that one with you guys. So as you can see, we're just coming around here, and the reason I'm doing this is because if you don't, there'll be a little gap there which you can see through. Now, I'll always urge you guys after one of my tutorials, just go gap checking. It's a good thing to do. Sometimes, you know, even I miss stuff, so not very often, but I do. So so yeah, once you have built this, then just go around, have a quick gap check, make sure that I've managed to do a decent job for you guys. Okay, so just taking a look here. Just want to try and get this as close as possible. Okay, I mean, I will say this won't be the most entertaining video I ever do, but it will give you something at the end of it. So if you are building this, then good luck to you. I hope you enjoy it by the time you finish it. And yeah, I mean, there's surprisingly a lot more than you think in this map. I'm going to take that. Okay, and if I can just line myself up there. Probably not the best way to show you guys that, but it's because there's a bit of a gap there. I'll just see if I've got anything there. Look, see. Okay, so I'll head for the one that's next to it for now. It might just be a case that we've got to tweak that in. If you're copying along, you might just be a little bit off, just because it's not actually connected. But we'll keep going. We'll keep going. Okay. Yeah, so select that. We'll try and fill as much of that gap in as possible, and then you can start to see what we've got there. Yeah, it's a tricky bit. See, it's not always easy. It's not always easy, guys. And for any creator who's watching this, they know it's not always easy. Something will throw you a curveball once in a while. This isn't a big curveball though. Okay. Let's take that and copy it and move it up. Okay. You don't have to copy it though. You can just select these straight off. You don't you know, you won't have anything to copy from. So yeah. So I'm just trying to help position it for myself so I can redo it. I wish I'd just taken the footage in the first place, but you know, you just never know how it's going to turn out, and sometimes, like for creators, it takes a couple of goes, you know. So so yeah, there we are. And just got to come down, just double check. Let's double check that's okay. Alright, let's try and have a look and see how it lines up. It's like one block in. Okay. Okay, so we're just lining that up. Just want to get it, just absolutely get it spot on for you guys. Right. Sweet. That's that one. Now, memory-wise, it's not a big map. Memory-wise, this obviously it's a tiny little thing, really, when you think about it. But there's just quite a bit going on in there. So so yeah, I've really enjoyed building this, guys, and I hope you do too. And then by the time you have actually finished it and you're playing it, you will love it. You will love it. You'll probably end up adding more to it or making it your own. And it doesn't look pretty from the outside, so you may want to clad it and make it look more like an actual building from the outside. So I had enough of a game just putting the thing together in the first place, so I didn't bother with pretty this time. But because you spawn in the inside, for me it doesn't always matter that much if the player can't see the outside, you know. So that's why I haven't really gone to that extra length to make it look pretty. But you can if you want to. Okay, let's just line that up. Okay, and you can see they're long, tiny, and tall terrain block. Now that's a catchy name. All right. But they are very useful blocks. They're very useful because you might want to put like doors and stuff in, so but you want to cover a good area at the same time without putting a massive humongous block in. So these are great ones. I do tend to use this block quite a lot. That's what I'll say. Just because it gives the room a good dimension as well. Like if you're building rooms, it's really good, and it works well with the basic blocks as well. Okay, let's try and take that up. Okay, as we're changing block, just make note as I select the blocks, just make note of what block it is. Comes up at the bottom there, look. Tiny tool terrain block. They're easy to find. They're easy to find. I tried to pick stuff apart from the interior toys, so it's quite easy to find, just so you know you're not hunting around for loads of stuff, loads of different things. We've done all that already. We've done the awkward bit already there. Okay. So just trying to find if there's anywhere else that I've got that block, but we're okay at the minute. Darth Vader. Okay, let's go. Alright, so yeah, try and ignore this logic here. This was something I was setting up separately, but I think I'm going to do that just fresh, because I want you guys to have the logic fresh in a different toy box, a different video. I just want you to get the build in here, and then we'll go through the logic of all the stuff that we've done, and then you can position it how you want. But yeah, we're using a large floor. We're also using the flagstone texture. So as you can see, we're just going to fill this in. Just going to fill this in. Now you can choose other stuff. I mean, if you're doing a different theme, or all of your textures will be potentially quite different to this. So let's just fill all that in. Yeah, have another one there, another one there. Okay, what have I got down the bottom? That's what I've got. That's what I've got to ask myself. You guys don't, but I've got to ask myself as I'm doing this for you. So yeah, let's smash that in there. Brilliant. Okay, cool. Now for me, the playthroughs are always the little gem. I really do enjoy the playthroughs, as you might have guessed from some of the other videos you've watched. But yeah, I really do enjoy the playthroughs, but I also enjoy giving you guys stuff to do. You know, in the UK we're heading into another lockdown period, so we're going to need to keep ourselves busy. And Disney Infinity's been great for that for the past, for the majority of the year for me, actually, to be honest. Really does help to have something like that, and it's a great game anyway. I love the game, but it's especially good if you're feeling creative and you want to make something, and you finished all the game modes, or you finished all the missions and side missions. Yeah, we need Fantasy Cottage stucco there. Sorry, I'm going off on one. Fantasy Cottage stucco. We're going to go for that texture for a little while. And you can see we're using that little wedge block there, and that's just to give the room a bit more of an interesting shape, because in the show it does have a few interesting shapes. That's about as best as I could do there, so I have made consideration for that. And I don't think I bothered back here. I'll just double check. Yeah, I didn't bother back there because it's not really essential. Okay, let's go and find that profile block. We'll call it something else. Let's see. Trim. They just call it trim. Okay. And it is like a trim, I suppose. Now, in other maps, I've blended these in so you don't see that line. If you look closely at my Steve Rogers gym, you'll see these at the top of by the ceiling, and you'll see there is no lines where they join. I was bored. But yeah, anyway, we're swiftly moving on. So you can see there are 4 across there at the back, across those platforming pieces. And rotate. We're not overly fussed about the little gaps on this one, because the player is going to be focused on not falling in the lava, not looking up and admiring the scenery up there, so I would like to think so anyway. Alright, cool. Alright. Now you notice I've got Sven and I've got some trees from Frozen in there. I did use a power disc for the trees in there, but you can put anything you like in that room. So I'm going to leave that open to you to do what you want with. But I did have Sven in there. Well, I still do have Sven in there technically. Sven, and I put a blue block at the top to try and make it look like sky. But it was it was just something to give you a quirky thing to look at, and also that's where I pick up the button as well. So it makes you the player look at it. So try and think of stuff like that when you're doing your levels, as it will make them a lot better. Okay, let's change the theme of that. No, that's not the right one. I think I think we're dungeon on this one. Yeah, you can see it's not that one. That's too new looking. We need something that's a bit old, because we've got that fresh colour there. We need a bit of a contrast. That's why I use King Louie's Ruins. It just kind of, I don't know, I just really like the texture for King Louie's Ruins. Doesn't always match up, but it's just interesting. Castle Brick's too clean, as you can see. It looks too clean and fresh. Now if you're going for that look, that's fine, but we're not. We're going for like the basement of Smithsonian, or like a museum's basement sort of look. So that's what we're going for, which might well have like older bricks and stuff like that down there. So okay, yeah, we're gonna have to rotate that one. So we'll rotate that, stick it in there. We've got to check, see if there's anywhere else that we need this, or this theme. And there are a few other places, so let's just check. We also run that theme all the way around the outside. Yeah, so we've got the short block wall. Let's have a look. It's just block wall, sorry, yeah. Telefib, the short block wall's like the tiny one. Okay, so we're just lining that up, so you can see it's just a block over from the main entrance. Then we've got one block over from that gap there, which has to go here. Okay, no we don't. Yeah, that's kind of okay, because you don't really see it. Right. Okay, let's just double check here. I've got to switch back to the big one because I've missed that. So let's run that up. And looks like I've got to rotate that. Yeah, okay, good. Right, you can see we've got loads to do in this dungeon wall thing. Don't be put off by that. It is a very long video, this one, but once you've got it once, guys, you've got it forever. So yeah. Okay, let's take that up. Yeah, you can see I'm trying to use the edge of the block there, the block beneath it, to line me up as well. Just going to drop that in there. We can come across. Okay, now just got to double check down there. Yeah, that's all right. I can see that, so that saves us a little bit of time. Yeah, surprisingly, sometimes it's the little levels that are little maps that can really kind of soak up a lot of time when you're building them. This did take a long time just to create, because you've got to plan it out and you've got to do all sorts of other things, so at least you guys can bypass that bit. But yeah, I'm sure there'll be a few of you that really want to build this, but if there are, let me know in the comments down below, because it gives me an idea as to what you guys like, and then I can maybe do similar things or try and do a new take on it. Or it really does help. The feedback helps shape where we go next. So yeah, please do leave a comment, whether it be good or bad. At least I know. At least I know what you guys think. So yeah. let's go through a bit. Right, okay. So we've got our little passageway there. Now you can see that comes up and there's a little gap in the roof, and I wanted to show you guys that because I showed you in the playthrough, just a quick walk around, is that the options are infinite really. Apart from the memory. You could just keep building and building up and up with this, or you could do something else in the next room. You could have like a puzzle room, a floor is lava room. You could do all sorts with it. You could have a hub world and then just come off to this one. It really is kind of, you know, really is up to you what you do with it. I just want to give you the opportunity to build something like the TV show. So yeah, let's have a look, and yeah, we've got a corner piece there, so let's run that up. That's pretty cool. And just got to double check down again. It can be quite tricky, especially when there's a lot of stuff to look at. So select that, and I can just copy that up. So you can see that every time, like down in that in the Creativity Toys menu. As I select something, it's there. So that's why I'm quite happy with kind of doing a build this way. So you can see the actual thing, and then we're going to just copy it and put it, you know, but you'll be building the copy essentially every time by doing it this way. If you like that way, let me know. If you don't like that way, also let me know, because I'll try and change it accordingly. If it's a bit of a pain to build from, I need to know. But it's just a good way for me to show you. It might not necessarily be the best way to build from. So yeah, I really do need some feedback with that. Okay, and let's drop that down, and let's rotate it. Okay. Now I'm trying to streamline this as fast as possible for you guys. It's really hard to try and edit out some of the stuff because it's stuff that you guys need, and I did sort of cut corners at the very start of this video, admittedly, for the interior toys, because that's just, I mean, I've featured it before in other videos, but there might be people watching this for the first time. But if you are, then you need to really be going back to that and getting used to getting interior toys into the toy box, which is my only gripe about this video really so far. Is that I really would have, I did take some footage, but it just wasn't great footage, and I thought, right, rather than give you naff footage, what I will do is I'll point you in the direction of of other stuff. So okay, let's take that, pop a block in there, that just fills that gap nicely. Okay, now you guys don't necessarily have to build this area outside of the main room. You can do whatever you like there. You're not restricted. Don't feel, I'm just showing you what I've done, but you can do it completely differently if you want. Might take the character to another world once you leave that leave that zone, or back to the hub world or whatever. But I just wanted to show you that you can make this modular, and you can make it like a modular construction, so you can just build build up when you want to. You know, let's say you've built one floor as lava room, you might say, oh, do you know what, I like that, I'll build another one above it. And that's why I'm doing it in this. It's another reason why I'm doing it in this method, because it kind of suits it. Okay, cool. Right, so just sussing stuff out here. I need to change the theme again. So I'm looking for that flagstone. Where's that flagstone? Flagstone, yes. Let's get in. Let's do it. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to be having a go at trying to build all the other people in the challenge, which was Professor Toybox, 72 Pringle, and All Night Gaming. I want to be trying to do their maps as well. It might not be immediately straight away, but I do over time want to build their maps. I know Professor Toyboxes was up straight away with his video, and 72 Pringles was up yesterday, so I'm trying to get this one up today. And just so you've got the build section sorted, I'll have to do the logic separately because I'm a bit pushed for time. But okay, so that's that. See if we can just select that. So now we're trying to build the corridor in. Okay, this is our main entrance in, and we've also got, yeah, just got to come down and double check that. You've also got this opening for Sven room, if you like, or the feature room. Think of it as a feature room, guys, and put whatever you want in there. And I'd be really interested to know what you put in your feature room, because I chose Sven, but you could choose a bantha and some sand people or something. And you just have to make sure they're not attacking you, maybe. But you might want them to attack you. I don't know. But it'd be really that's the interesting part for me, is to leave a little bit that, you know, if you're copying it, then do copy it. But, and I've explained that Sven is, you know, Sven is Sven, but the trees are off the power disc, off the frozen power disc. And what I didn't mention is that they're fantasy terrain trees, changed and themed. But you have to start with small ones in there, and then put the roof on, and then change the theme. And that's where they stick out a little bit out of the top of the roof there. But yeah, I digress a little bit because we've got to start trying to figure this out. If I pop that there, I'll just, yeah, something not quite right here. I just need to shift around a little bit, so please do the same. That's it, that's got it. Just need to shift that wall a little bit so I can make sure my room is the right size. Okay. Okay, now we've set our theme for these blocks here, so if we do need to build any terrain blocks, the theme's set. But yeah, I think I'm going to just go for that, yeah, and rotate that, and that makes a nice little section to walk through. Yeah, and as you can see, because the theme's set, you can just pick those up and fill the gaps. That's alright. Okay, let's have a look here. Okay, can I do that in less pieces? Because the first time round, you know, I wouldn't have been thinking like that. I wouldn't have been thinking, oh, I can do this in less pieces. I would just be thinking, right, I need to fill that gap. But I think maybe we can. I think maybe we can. And I'm going to leave it in this flagstone colour. And you could just go ahead and colour it how you like. Okay, and then we'll just rotate that, stick it in there, stick it in there. Okay, so we've got a little room. That's your feature room done. All you've got to do is go in with a wand and just change the colour, or spark mode and just change the colour as to what you want. Remember to put your fantasy terrain trees in if you're going to go ahead with that. It is a good way of doing it. Just put the lid, put the fantasy terrain trees in first, make sure they're small enough to fit in, put the lid on, and then change the theme. Some will work, some won't. I found that those frozen trees work really well with Sven, so yeah, cool. So you can see we've got a bit of a gap there, and we need to fill that gap. And also there's a bit of a step in there as well, but to get that step, it isn't on what I call normal grid. So what we've got to do is use that path creator for 3 step areas. But first up, what we're going to do is put the actual block somewhere nearby. Okay, so pop that in. Now originally I did have it at that height, and it was just too high. Your character's head would bang on the ceiling as you come out, and it just really wasn't any fun. So what we're going to do, we're just going to have a little look and see. It's a bit of fiddling around with this bit, guys. Okay. Just put it where I can for now. Alright, that's not too bad. Well, I need another one over here, so let's just go ahead and do that. Nice. Okay. Now what I used was some steps, so let's find the steps again. In here somewhere. Always the way when you're doing a tutorial is you always end up hunting around for stuff in the menus, but there we go, some steps pointing down and rotate, and those can go there as well. Okay, now I'm going to show you a little technique to make those look good. So it's a bit tricky sometimes, though. I will say it is tricky. But if sometimes if it's not tricky, you know, you've got to ask yourself, is it as good? I can do tricky. So let's drop down the path creator. The real trick is to make the tricky simple, and I'm trying my best to do that for you guys. So let's do it. Let's stick path creator there. And just run it through. It doesn't matter where that ends particularly. What's more important is it's got the correct settings. So we just stick one in there in that void, and one opposite in that void. Press circle, come out of it, and then we're going to go and put one in here, and we're going to do the same again. We're just going to run it just beyond the stairs is fine. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to turn that off, and out of habit I just tend to do the auto start off as well. It doesn't necessarily need to be, because essentially you've turned it off. Okay, off. In the properties and off. Right. And there's a reason why I do that, is that if I do end up changing my mind or turning the path back on, it doesn't auto start. So don't always, like, more often than not, I don't want it to auto start. I want to have control of whatever's on the path, so I tend to do that. It's one of the early things I do. Okay, so we've added that block to the path, so the new path connection there. Change the properties of the Toybox path within the block, if you like. So vertical offset. This takes a bit of playing around with. Okay, so just try and keep going with what I'm doing here. I do have to come back occasionally just to tweak and play around with this. Doesn't matter about the loop on this one because the path is off essentially. It does if you want something to move along it, but we don't. Oh, that's sticking out too far, so we're just going to have to move that back in. Forward, backward offset. Let's just change that a wee bit if we can. Just need to go in a little bit more. I'll just get that in one more. I'll be reasonably happy at that. It's one or two more maybe. Let's have a look. And yeah, do you know what? Height wise it might need to go down, but yeah, let's just play around with it. So new path connection for this bit. Let's go through that again. Toybox path, so then it sits it there, but what we then need to do is go into the properties of that block on the Toybox path connection, and then just play with these offsets again. I mean, if you've seen my video on the ITS transport for the Ride of the Resistance, you will be very familiar with this technique by now. But yeah, luckily we're not making these fly, so can be just as awkward though. I mean, if you can't see what you're doing, and that's one of my gripes with that technique, is that you can't always see what you're doing. Okay, so we're just checking that needs to go in a little bit for what we got here. Yeah, let's just change that. Okay, so it is a case of just tweaking it around, guys. Tweaking it until you're happy with it. Vertical offset. Right. Yeah, just need to tweak it a little bit. So we're just tweaking the horizontal, vertical, forward, backward offsets until we get it where we want it, and that's exactly what we've done there. Because there's 2 blocks, it's a little bit trickier than just the 1 block there at Sven's room, but we'll just go ahead and do the same over here. Yeah, I think I'll tackle Sven's first, because yeah, we'll go for properties, just check it. Yeah, everything's off. Sometimes you can distract yourself. Just check your properties before you start a path, because it can really get on your nerves. Toybox path, so we attach it there. You can see it's now brought it right into the middle of the wall. We don't want that. So it's properties of the block and Toybox path, and then we're going to go horizontal offset. Quite often you find the first time you do it, they are not where you want them. As you can see, that's gone the wrong way. So you can just slide it over the other way, the opposite way. Vertical offset, we want it down, keep going down there. Okay, just want to bring it back a little bit and down a touch. Okay, so have a look at that. Oh. Yeah. Okay, let's just, once you've done it, go and inspect it and see if you think, oh, do you know what, is that alright? That looks a bit high to me, so I might just, yeah, I might just drop that and the step over there. The step over there's got a little bit of a gap underneath it. I think I'm just going to drop them. Vertical offset, let's drop it 1 more, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Let's try and do the same over here, so I have to just change it. Yeah, that's all okay. I think I selected the wrong thing there. Right, it's the block. Always remember, once it's connected, it's the block that does all of that. So, okay, just take it down 1. Does it look any good there? No. Leave it there. That's okay. Yeah. Properties. And just take that vertical offset down 1. And then when I get to the next one, I'll remember that, hopefully. And then just looks a bit more subtle. It's not sticking up out of the lava too much, or out of the room too much. Just a few little steps. Okay. Properties, Toybox path. Okay, vertical offset. Let's take it down. Yeah, cool. And back a bit, because yeah, we didn't line that up where we wanted it specifically. But that just helps you see beyond this for a little while usually, but yeah, that's the trouble. Okay, if it is getting on your nerves, you know, you can just move some of those blocks and put them back in, providing they're not on a path. But saying that, you know, you can do that too. But yeah, essentially we're just doing the same as what we've done over there. And we're just playing with those offsets again. See, it's so cool. It's really satisfying. It's really satisfying, like defying the grid of the game, because the grid of the game can make it feel very, I don't know, very plain and boring. If you start rotating things, you know, you're expecting things to be online all the time, but then if you suddenly kick that line, or you use a technique that makes it different. I mean, if you look at 72 Pringle's horse show jumping video, and you can see how he's rotated all the gates. That's really interesting to me, because I look at something and I think, oh yeah, that's just on grid. But I see that it means that someone's gone to the extra effort of rotating that on the grid, and that is special. Okay, because I know just how hard or irritating that can be at sometimes. Okay, cool. So yeah, we've pretty much got the room itself sorted out. We've done the awkward bit with the steps. That's about as awkward as it gets with that, and the interior toys. Let's take this flagpole up. That's going to mark where we're going to bring that rope down. But we'll handle that in the logic. But I just want to show you where it lives. Okay. Okay, so that was handy having all those there, because now I can quickly select the tall vertical sliding ledge hang. Yes, sweet. So that's the one. It's not a rope yet, but you can change the theme. So we are going to change the theme on that. Let's see if we can do it without it kicking me down the map. And we can. Brilliant. Okay. Okay, guys, that is pretty much it for the room itself. All we're going to do is just put a few ceilings on, I think, here. Yeah, you know, so we have teleporters around the place because it's easier to get around that way sometimes. And in this map I did put a teleporter in so I could get around this little pathway. And originally I had it so you just walk straight round, but then I thought, well, what if the player doesn't really want to go back and do that challenge again? So you've got the option of just jumping on a teleporter and doing it again, having some fun with it, or you can go up onto the next room and do something else up there, which is really cool. Teleporters are great for big maps. We were discussing this as creators together as we were doing this creative challenge, is that teleporters are great for huge maps. They really do save a lot of time, especially when you're creating stuff. Rather than trying to fly back in Spark mode, just change your character and just whiz across the map on a teleporter. Really, really, really does help. And to save you potentially a lot of time when you're creating as well. Unfortunately, I can't save a lot of time with this one today because it's just one of those tricky builds. But it's like I say, once you've got it once, you can keep going. You can, you know, if you really like it, you can build more Flora's lava rooms. You could build anything you like. The next section of the map. That's what's good about this game. So you know, the options are there as long as you can think of them. Okay, so let's fill all that in. You can see that we've changed our theme to the dungeon again. I just kept the same theme. I mean, you can change that theme if you like. This is just to show you, really, that whole area there is just to show you that there's more that you can do with this. It doesn't just have to be one room. You could have some kind of puzzle up it, yeah, some puzzle or some kind of, yeah. Just sorry, I'm just trying to suss out if there's anything else I need with that. But I don't think there is. So just go ahead, we'll take that, and then we'll re-theme it. Let's go ahead and theme it. Now we need that fantasy cottage stucco again. So let's go ahead and find that. Apologies for the scrolling, but yeah, if I could just type it in, I would. But by the time I typed it in, I would have found it. So it's another thing. There's some people have asked me, oh, you know, do you play Minecraft? I'm hopeless at Minecraft, guys. I'll say that. Absolutely hopeless. So yeah, that will answer your question. I've got an appreciation for Minecraft because I can see that, you know, it's a similar thing, really. You know, people like creating stuff, and essentially, if I was any good at it, I probably would play it. But I'm not. So. And the worlds are absolutely vast as well. I'll say that much about Minecraft. It is really cool in that respect. Some of the stuff people make is crazy too. Okay. So, just going to fill these in a bit here. I'm literally just going to put another one of those there. Okay, cool. I think we're coming pretty close to the end of this video now. I think we've only got a few things left to do. So let's change to Darth Vader. We haven't seen him for a while. Yes. Come on. So here we are. The other floor is lava. There's no tricky camera angles just yet. We've not done any of that, so you can have a good practice now. If you built this, have a good practice, get familiar with where everything is, put your stuff in that room that you want to put in there, change the theme of that little area. Ah!
We would do well to avoid that in the future.
Take your advice, Darth Vader. I would do well to have it. Oh! Yeah.
The power of the dark side is far stronger than you ever imagined.
No, it isn't. Anakin's curse. Anakin's curse is what I'll put that down to. Anakin and lava. Ooh, nice. Actually make that one. Oh, he tried for the head, but he didn't make it. So if you're making this for younger players, I would say don't bother with the camera angle. Just, you know, you will need some of the logic in there just to get the challenge going. But make it simpler for younger players if you are building for the kids or something. Maybe put some extra furniture in so they can make it across without the rope thing, because that is quite tricky to get. It's fun, but it is also quite tricky to nail that, because you'll go up the flagpole like this. And then you'll be in the lava. And if you're a kid, you would probably be throwing the controller at the telly by that point. But yeah, but essentially there we go, guys. We've got a floor is lava room. Looks quite pretty.
The power of the dark side.
And in the next video we'll be going over the logic. So please don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more awesome videos. See you later. Bye bye.